Northwest Florida. We're taking the inside drive.
Did you know that the Super Bowl halftime performers do not actually get paid? David did. I didn't know that.
Just recently I figured that out, and that's basically because of all the promotion that they get out of it.
Yes, what they're getting paid is that brand equity and brand awareness. Apple Music pays the NFL $50 million.
Join Ryan Mulvey.
Thank you very little.
Middays 11 to 1 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, sunny and a high of 61 with wind 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the west. Clear skies tonight, a calm wind and cool near 48. Sunny and 66 tomorrow with a wind out of the south at 5 miles per hour. 67 and some sun with a moderate breeze at 13 miles per hour Thursday. This is your Tuesday's weather brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you thinking of doing a fundraiser? Well, Krispy Kreme Donuts next to HCA Hospital, 23rd Street, Panama City, and on the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan says, let's raise some dough. Earn up to 50% profit with a Krispy Kreme fundraiser in-shop or online. So let's raise some dough. At Krispy Kreme Donuts next to HCA Hospital, 23rd Street, Panama City, and on the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan.
KFC's new Smashed Potato Bowl is out here looking like an absolute snack. For just $3.49, you get crispy secret recipe fries topped with creamy mashed potatoes, cheese sauce, bacon crumbles, and even more melty cheese. If you're looking to smash your hunger, grab KFC's new Smashed Potato Bowl for just $3.49. For a little extra, add nuggets to the mix. It's finger-licking good. Prices and participation may vary. Tax, tip, and fees extra.
From the Vortex Springs to the Bear Paw Canoe Trail. From Shell Island to 30A. We're your home for live sports. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Whoa, Eagle. Hey. Yeah, Wildcat's he's quiet back there. He didn't do his little market. I didn't hear that honk.
Busy back here.
Yeah. He's been pretty cocky since that game. Auburn Update is brought to you by Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven. Get over there and have a great meal, especially on Wednesday. 10 wings, drinking aside for only $9.99. Pat Perno does a great job over there. Go check it out. Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven. Let's bring him on now, the voice of Auburn Tigers, the legendary Andy Burcham. Andy, how you doing, sir?
Gentlemen, I'm doing well on this beautiful Tuesday, getting ready for a night of Auburn baseball. No midweek game for Auburn basketball. The Tigers are back on the road this coming weekend at Georgia. So that's the week I'm looking forward to.
Well, we want to go back a couple days and say happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
I shared it. I saw a picture of you, and we shared it here, and we talked. Matter of fact, we talked about it yesterday.
Yeah,
it was Andy's birthday.
We celebrated all day.
Yeah, you are in the Panhandle of Florida. You are loved. You know that they love you.
That's why Wildcats feel under the weather today.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but now listen, you got the guy that just called you is a Kentucky Wildcat big time. So I just warning you.
He's been talking smack for the last couple of days.
He's been running his mouth because we all had Auburn winning at home, 13-1 now. And Andy, when Auburn started, I watched at halftime. Auburn made a run, got back into it, and the place was going absolutely crazy. I thought, okay, it's going to happen. It didn't happen. Give us a little take. What's your take on the game Saturday? What happened, and what do you think?
Well, first off, hats off to Kentucky. And we knew going in that was a very talented Kentucky team. That was not a surprise in the least. I thought one of the big differences in the game was Kentucky's defense on the perimeter against Auburn's guards. I thought that was one of the huge keys for Kentucky. Kentucky played very physical defensively, and I thought did a very, very good job against the Auburn guards.
Yeah. Coach Cal must have put his foot in their butts because in the past, their defense underneath the basket has not been good.
Right. You're right. And I thought Kentucky's defense was the difference in the game. It was a poor shooting night for Auburn, to be sure. and especially a poor shooting night from long distance for the Tigers. And I mean, listen, Auburn was Kentucky was the better team, and that's hard to say, especially for Auburn when it came at Neville Arena. That's Auburn's first loss at Neville Arena this season. It's Auburn's first loss at Neville Arena since the Alabama game a year ago, and that was a very tough loss for Auburn because Auburn never led in the game. Auburn tied it at 2-2, and Kentucky led for 38 and a half minutes of the game. And we just haven't seen that this season, especially at Neville Arena. This is a good week, I think, for Auburn for no midweek game. I think Auburn could use a little time just to kind of recuperate, so to speak, get ready for the last push of this season. And I think it's good because no midweek game, and it gives Jalen Williams some time to recuperate from, well, when it happened, it looked like a major knee injury. Turns out it is not going to require surgery.
Good.
Now, how many games he misses, guys, at this point, I don't know. It probably is going to be a couple, but that's my read on it. That's nothing official from Auburn at this point. But, it was a tough day. It was a great night. I mean, game day had been here. It was the annual Outlive game for Coach Pearl's Foundation, and they raised a lot of money for folks dealing with cancer. But boy, when it came to the game, Kentucky outplayed Auburn, and that's easily that's my take coming out of Saturday.
Yeah, it was cool though. Yeah, I watched game day, and everybody's pumped up. I was surprised after I watched them play South Carolina. I said, Auburn, nobody can beat Auburn at Auburn. I mean, I really thought that. And you're right, Andy. And you had mentioned before the game last week when we had you on, you said Kentucky is pretty good. And I was like, I didn't think they were that good. I hadn't watched them enough, I guess, but they looked good that game. They got Georgia Saturday, 5 o'clock.
Right.
Then it gets tough. You're at Tennessee on Wednesday. Let me ask you this question. You've watched all these teams. You've seen it. Give me 3 or 4 names going into the tournament, the teams you're worried about that could win it all, the SEC.
Alabama is one. I'm not sure Alabama has another loss in them in the regular season. Tennessee still has to go to Alabama. That may be for at least a share of the conference championship in the regular season. And let me say, I think that Kentucky team, if it gets on a roll, Kentucky can win the SEC tournament. Kentucky can go very, very deep in the NCAA tournament because of the talent that it has.
Wow. Okay.
Now, and that's me saying that and not talking about Auburn. Talking about other teams other than Auburn.
Right.
At this point. I think we've seen enough of Auburn to know that if this team gets on a roll again, gets healthy again, this team can beat anybody else. But as far as other teams in our league, yes, it pains me to say it, but Alabama is in the driver's seat right now.
Andy, where exactly does Auburn rank in the standings in the SEC for fans who may not be as familiar as you are with the whole breakdown?
The third.
All right, let me pull up the official stats in the Southeastern Conference right now. Auburn is 2 games out of first in the Southeastern Conference at this point. Auburn will have to get help at this point to win the regular season SEC championship. Alabama is 10-2. Tennessee is 9-3. Auburn and South Carolina are both 9-4. But remember, Auburn has the tiebreaker on South Carolina. Right. And let's not forget that Florida is 8-4. Florida has the tiebreaker on Auburn. And Kentucky is 8-4, and Kentucky has the tiebreaker on Auburn. So there's going to be a lot of movement in that top 6 in the SEC. And you want to be in the top 4 come the SEC tournament because then you get a double bye. You don't play again until Friday in the SEC tournament. So there's a lot riding. Even if you don't win a regular season SEC championship, there's a lot riding on what happens these last 5 games in the SEC for Auburn. And then, of course, we're not even talking at this point about what it does with regard to seeding in the NCAA tournament.
And let me ask you this, you might not know the answer, but I was thinking about trying to go up there to Nashville and watch the SEC tournament or maybe a day or something like that. Is it hard getting tickets? Do you buy them up there? I'm not even sure how you do it.
I would buy in advance. I would go through schools, one. If you know a game that you want to see, I would go through the school first. But you can buy tickets through the SEC.
Okay.
And, it might be a little tougher later in the week, and it may depend on the teams that are playing, but you should be able to buy tickets through the Southeastern Conference for a day or two at the SEC. And there still may be some full tournament books that are available as well.
And you have teams lose, and those fans will want to sell their tickets, too.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. That happens. Absolutely. I've seen it. I've seen people walking out of the gym trying to sell tickets on their way out.
Not a good feeling.
Right. You're right.
Hey, real quick, I want to switch gears real quick. What's the baseball? I believe they've run undefeated 3-0. What's the weather going to be like tonight, and who does Auburn have tonight?
Auburn plays host to UAB tonight at 6 Central. It is beautiful and sunny today, a little bit cool. It's supposed to be in the mid-60s. So it will drop back into the 50s tonight, but no rain mentioned. Of course, UAB is coached by former Auburn All-American Casey Dunn, who is in his second season as the head coach of the Blazers. UAB won 2 of 3 this past weekend on opening weekend against Kennesaw. And then Auburn comes to the Sunshine State this weekend. The Tigers head to Jacksonville to play in a fabulous tournament Friday against Iowa, which will feature one of the top pitchers in the country that throws 101.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. Auburn plays then Wichita State on Saturday, and then a top 10 team in Virginia on Sunday. So those are the 3 games that Auburn has this weekend down in Jacksonville, Florida.
Now, we won't see you there. You'll be in Athens, right?
Yeah, I'll be in Athens. Brad Law, of course, will be with baseball this weekend. I'll be, of course, with basketball in Athens, Georgia.
Hey, did you have a good birthday?
I did. It was a great day. I got to call Auburn baseball, so I got to spend a good portion of the day at the ballpark, and then my wife and a couple friends of ours went to dinner that evening, and it was a very, very special 63rd birthday for me.
Nice.
63 years young.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's exactly right.
He doesn't look that old on the
No,
radio.
he looks good. He's a stud. I saw him up in person. I tackled him. I grabbed his leg, wouldn't let him go. Got a picture with him up in Hoover. he was trying to push me away.
He's like, who are you?
Yeah, we need to talk about that if you don't mind, James.
Hey, listen, you have a great day. We'll talk to you next week, okay? Thank you, Andy.
Have a great one. Thank you. War Eagle.
War
Eagle.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He really is a great guy. Auburn Tigers.
He looks good at 63. You don't
He
look so
does
good.
look good. I mean, seriously, he does.
That's why you stay away from him.
I told
They're
security.
like, is this your dad?
Well, they were
saw that
they
Putin
were
catching up with
doing.
him.
They were at SEC tournament. He was calling a game. And I'm thinking, I'll just go walk up there and say, hey, you can't. There's security everywhere.
Hey.
But I know him.
He's probably on ESPN, like the ESPN network, probably talking.
Jamie goes, Dad, you can't just do. But anyway, so we stayed there. It's cool, man. Y'all got to go to Hoover if you like baseball.
I want to go to one weekend because
really
I love
cool.
baseball. I love high school baseball too because it's exciting to watch on that level.
Have you ever gone? Have you ever gone up to Nashville Wildcat to watch a basketball tournament, SEC basketball tournament?
No, I haven't.
See, I want to kind of do that. I wouldn't mind doing that.
Fun.
Those are really cool to go to because you see so many teams. They have sessions.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just sit there the whole
And
time.
Nashville's a great place.
Oh yes, all these arenas are really good places. The problem is the
Will
food's
Max
expensive.
Fit Sports Nutrition sponsor me?
Yeah, get with me later.
You knew that was coming, didn't you?
We do a live show from up there.
Like a couple of years later.
Way down the road we'll do it. Yeah. All right, thank you. Auburn Update has been brought to you by Beef Braised. Love Pat. You know, he does a great job, City Commissioner of Lynn Haven. But his restaurant's really great. You walk in, everybody speaks to you. They always got a smile on their face. They treat you like family. The food's incredible. Wildcat can't stop eating the dang chips or the onion rings. Now, the chips, I love the chips.
That's right.
You can have the chips. Well, I like the chips.
The onion rings are good,
onion
too.
rings are just out of this world.
He's real
special recipe.
He's on top of everything.
$10 wings, man. I'm telling you, there's nowhere place you can get them that cheap anymore.
And a drink and a side for $9.99. Before Brazen Haven, go check it out. We think you'll love that. Dr. Chad Mitchell every Monday. Well, most Mondays he's in here. We'll have him next Monday. Any type of injury, go see Chad Mitchell. God does a great job. Rudy's Barbecue on Back Beach Road. Jason, talk about Rudy's.
I love the brisket. They got the new potatoes, cream corn. But if you want to eat something healthy, try their jalapeno sausage and get the Rudy's beans, which are just basically pinto beans, a good source of carbs, but really healthy for you. And they also have their breakfast tacos that I love. So you can get food any time of the day. They got TVs. You can watch games. So go check them out. It's really, really good food.
And don't forget now, 1 in 5 develop skin cancer. If it doesn't look right, feel right, go see Dr. Ward. There's offices throughout Northwest Florida. Do not put it off. Protect your skin. Put that sun lotion on there. Try to stay out of as much as you can. Cover up your skin and take care of it. We'll be right back. 104.3 Florida State. We get back by Jim Brandt. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Paul Samuel Hale, a veteran of Vietnam, Desert Storm. He has seen it all. He's done it all.
Baby brother. Based on my vast experience as a psychologist, I would categorize him as delusional.
Weekday morning 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hello, this is Rick Vossen with RV of Panama City, your local Stormore portable building dealer, located 2241 East Baldwin Road. Running now through March 5th, we've got a 10% discount on new units as well as order outs. And there's a couple aged units in there that will have an additional 5 or 10% discount to them. Come see me, Rick, at RV of Panama City, your Stormore portable building dealer, located 2241 East Baldwin Road.
There's nothing more satisfying than helping you find the perfect vehicle. And this month, find something you love at just 2.99% APR on our most popular models. Plus 90 days until you make your first payment. Like the 2024 Camry with stylish good looks and impressive performance. Or the 2024 Corolla, built for comfort and style with top-notch tech. Panama City Toyota. For over 30 years, where relationships are born.
Offer expires March 4th. For details, visit PanamaCityToyota.com.
Did you know that fees associated with real estate closings are virtually the same from one title company to the next? So what sets South Oak Title apart? Effective communication, customer service, expertise, and technology. If you're buying or selling real estate, refinancing a residential or commercial property, tell your realtor you want to close with South Oak Title. South Oak Title, with locations across the Southeast, including Panama City Beach, Inlet Beach, Destin, and Fort Walton Beach. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
Phone lines are open. 850-215-6290. The Coach James Hale Show is taking your calls live and local. From the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Florida State.
Hey! We were 7th.
I just want to keep hearing it. I just like messing with you.
The number 13th ranked team in the college football playoff. Florida State.
Florida State. Woo! FSU. I hope they get into the SEC. We don't need them going to the Big Ten. Our FSU is sponsored by Newbies. Get out to all 3 Newbies. Have a great time. Newbies 2 on the curve. Go watch the NBA. Baseball's getting ready to get cranked up, especially college baseball. Watch it all right there.
You got a fever?
What'd you tell me earlier? NBA, how many did All-Star game?
The NBA All-Star game drew a whopping 10 million people. Compared to the Super Bowl, 123.
Yeah, at the height, 200 million on the Super Bowl.
Yeah, college football games get more than that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. All right, Jim Bob, what do you got for us today?
We're going to start with FSU baseball. I turned on the show yesterday and Bill Allen was on. So
making excuses. He was making excuses.
He's making moves.
Yeah, so anyway, they've only played 2 games. They played Butler twice. They got rained out one time. they won big time, as you would expect, against Butler, 11-0 and 15-5. So they play Jacksonville today in Jacksonville, the Jacksonville Dolphins in Jacksonville, Florida. So I would expect they'll take care of them pretty easily too. So good start, but that's kind of what you expect when you're Florida State playing Butler. You kind of expect that. Softball had a good start to that Clearwater clinic or tournament rather. They beat Stanford 4-0, and after that they scored a lot of runs but gave up a ton. They lost to UCLA 14-10.
Woo!
And of those 14 runs at UCLA, I watched that game for about 3/4 of the game. They walked in, I think, 4 runs with the bases loaded, and they walked somebody. And for Florida State to do that, their pitching is just unheard of.
Right.
So they lost to UCLA 14-10, and then they got beat by Georgia 20-10 the next day. So I didn't watch that. So obviously the pitching didn't hold up there, and then Sunday they got rained out against Tennessee. So they were 1-2 in that tournament. They're 5-3 overall. If they pitch like they did that one game, they're going to have problems.
Yeah.
Scoring runs doesn't seem to be a problem, but you can't give up.
Last year they were running up to Oklahoma.
Yeah, they were. But that pitcher that was so good for them is gone.
To Roll Tide, didn't she?
Yeah, so she's gone. So
and she's already throwing no hitters over there. Stealing NIL freaks.
I would expect softball to be back because they have a great program.
They got a good history and culture over there.
FSU basketball. They're 13-12. They lost to Duke by 9 points on Saturday. They've got Boston College today. They have Clemson on Saturday. They're right about the middle of the conference. They're 7-7. They're in 8th place. So they're not doing as well as what people probably expect. But Leonard Hamilton's been around forever. He's a great coach.
Yeah.
I think he'll probably get them cranked up a little bit here. The women's basketball is doing better than the men. They're 19-8 overall. They're in 5th place in the conference. They have a game on Thursday against Boston College, and then they have Louisville. So, they're in 5th place in the conference. So, not terrible, but probably not as what they expected.
Right.
So, we'll see.
Interested to see what Florida State basketball is going to do. Leonard Hale's been there for years, and they're kind of mired in mediocrity right now. So
he's getting up there in age.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal coach. Don't get me wrong. We used to go over their team camps, just talking to him. I mean, he knows the game, but at some point, every now and then, you may just need some fresh blood and just inject some new talent into that program. So
I want to get back to James. Money is the root of all evil. Hale here.
Yes, it is.
Who just. I've known him for a long time, and there are times I want to slap him, and today is one of them. This is the same person that for a year ad nauseum, every single day, the Big Ten's going to throw around their money. They got $16 bazillion to throw at everybody. Everybody's going to go to the SEC or the Big Ten. Florida State's going to go to the Big Ten because they can make 600 trillion times more money in the Big Ten than they can in the SEC. Now, today, Mr. Flip-Flop here, oh no, FSU's going to go to the SEC because it just means more. So what is it, Mr. Moneybags? What is it?
We don't need them going up north. We got to set aside
You're the same person
jealousy.
that said you are the same person that said they're going to go because they can make, and you're another one with the money. They're going to make $50 million more per game than they can in any other league.
Right.
So why would they go?
It
to
was
SEC?
49.5
something.
Yeah,
but I'm being sarcastic. But I know that. But I'm being serious. I mean, why would they turn that money down?
No. There was an article.
I don't think this is set in stone either way, though.
Yeah, it didn't.
No.
There was an article saying that by the end of the year, FSU and Clemson would be in the SEC. We had talked to people that are big boosters, and they were saying, we're here, it's the Big Ten.
Right.
So,
all I've heard is the Big Ten, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I just think at some point you have to care about the logistic of the sport. Baseball, softball. Do you want to go up into, Ohio in the spring where it's 30 degrees and try to play baseball and softball? Do you want to travel to UCLA? Do you want to travel to USC for football games? Do you want to try to Wisconsin in November to play football games? Right. To me, that's not a smart way to do business. If the money was $50 million difference, then we're talking.
And really, we're only talking about $10 million.
10 to 15, yeah.
Okay.
If that. And we're still not seeing the full development of these TV
we were lied
contracts.
to the other day. They came out and said ESPN had signed an extension.
Right.
We found out later that's not true. They're still talking about it. Fox is trying to jump in there.
Let me give a round of applause to Fox, our savior. You hate the Foxes there because they got big
think
money.
about it, though. Seriously, I mean, I get it. Florida doesn't want them in there. I know that.
Right.
I don't think Auburn, Alabama, Georgia. They don't.
I don't think anybody in the SEC
they don't. They know how good they could be. But can you imagine every week if you go to Tallahassee? These are your home games. I'm just going to Texas, Tennessee, Oklahoma, LSU, Georgia, Alabama,
Florida.
Auburn. Florida's already there.
Right.
But then the Big Ten, you got Ohio State. Yeah, Ohio State comes, it'll be crazy. Michigan comes, it'll be crazy. Penn State would be crazy.
USC.
Oregon, USC, yeah.
Washington.
But then you got Rutgers. You got nobody cares about
Vanderbilt,
Minnesota,
Arkansas. My bad. We're talking about Big Ten. My bad.
Turn his mic off. Anyway, they could double that stadium if they wanted to, because if they couldn't sell tickets, they could sell them to those fans. They would come. We're right across. Look how close Auburn is to Alabama.
Look, I would want Florida State the Big Ten just because it adds another, historic program.
We need you guys out of our state.
It lets us enter the
South,
the Florida for big time recruits, whether it's Miami or Florida State. But I think Florida State's a better fit academically. Just they support their football team. They actually have people in the stands when they play at home.
Yeah.
But I do think it's just got to be a more natural fit to the SEC, and it makes more sense for your sports programs to succeed.
I just look. Y'all are East Coast to the West Coast. We're just in one little southern region. We just need to keep you out of here. We need to go up north and bring Ohio State into the SEC.
I'm living for the day. I'm living for the day.
That ain't gonna happen.
I'm living for the day when some of you Sunshine Boys got to play in Ann Arbor.
Right.
Got to play at Columbus. Got to play at where does the Penn State play?
Happy Valley.
Happy Valley in December. I'm living for the day. And I have
Madison.
I have experience from this one. When I was at Akron, 1976, we made the playoffs. Our first playoff game was against Nevada, Las Vegas. Okay? And they came to Akron, Ohio, and it was about 25 degrees. We didn't think it was cold. I mean, this is what we
normal day in the winter.
Normal day in the winter. They didn't want any part of that game. They were huddled up on the sidelines, just hugging each other. When can we finish? And we beat them into next year. You hear me?
Remember LSU went up to Wisconsin at Lambeau Field, and Wisconsin put it on them.
I'm waiting for the day when the Tide's got to go to Columbus, Ohio in December.
They're actually on the schedule, but that series will never make it to the light of day.
One thing you brought up, this happened. This was in 1976, and it was like in the 20s. And Alabama was playing UCLA, and Coach Bryant told the kids, said, nothing but your jersey. They couldn't have anything. They went out there in their shirts, and they were running around having a good time and stuff. And UCLA players used that nice weather out there. They were all bundled up, freezing. Alabama beat them, and they had a better record. They were favored to win. Alabama beat them like 36-6.
It makes
and that
a
was in
difference.
Memphis.
If you're not used to that type of weather, when you first get out into it, it's a shock to the body.
It makes a difference.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some of our great people. Jim Dickerson, State Farm agent, is incredible. I've been with him almost 25 years. Give him a call. Check him out. The guy does what he says he's going to do. 763-4673. Jim Dickerson, State Farm. Turf Pro Pest Control. Patrick does such a good job. Give him a call. He'll come do a great job for you also. Hey, we're going to go shopping. We're going to go look for jewelry. Where are we going?
You're going to Davison, right over there in Lynn Haven, right on Highway 77. Take your old jewelry over there, have it appraised, either for insurance purposes or to find out what's costume jewelry, what's real jewelry. Clean it up. She'll start wearing it. It's a good idea. You could have lots of money.
It's a Wildcat. Great idea.
It's a great idea. Hey, that's a good thing.
Paparazzi Gourmet Deli. If you love pizza, that's the only place you need to go. It's incredible. Go check it out. 3 restaurants to run right on Thomas Drive. Unbelievable. Great people down there also. Paparazzi Gourmet Deli. We'll be right back. Oh, I want to thank John Sharp for the Florida State update. Newbies, you got newbies, have a great time. Right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the most college basketball.
Three-pointer, punch it in. College basketball is back.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
The SEC, ACC, and beyond.
Oh, you saw that coming, Radford.
The biggest games play right here.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, sunny and a high of 61 with wind 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the west. Clear skies tonight, a calm wind and cool near 48. Sunny and 66 tomorrow with a wind out of the south at 5 miles per hour. 67 and some sun with a moderate breeze at 13 miles per hour Thursday. This is your Tuesday's weather brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
When you use Bounce dryer sheets and your clothes look amazing, it's the sheet. Less static in your life? Yeah, it's the sheet. Smelling fresher than ever? It's the sheet. Oh, so soft fabric? Ooh la la. It's the sheet. Less wrinkles on your clothes? You know it's the sheet. Bounce dryer sheets. More freshness, more softness. Less static, less wrinkles. It's the sheet.
Is your restaurant looking a little tired from the long off season? Is your office a little offish? Start the new year off right by giving them a fresh start. Fresh Start Cleaning is now accepting new clients. Ask about their complimentary hood cleaning services. Fresh Start Cleaning. Get clean again with Fresh Start. Call 850-771-6917, 771-6917, and ask about their complimentary hood cleaning services.
He's a 10-foot-tall, barrel-chested beast man who showers in vodka and feeds his baby shrimp scampi.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Please welcome.
Pain don't hurt.
Live and local from the J. Michael Studio, the Coach James Hale Show, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3. Yeah, play that, baby. Woo!
Oh, yeah.
Jim Brandt you all see him on the dance floor. Unbelievable.
That was you with the paint can in this thing.
Woo, baby.
See some bell bottoms with some flowers
And
on
James
them.
Hale had platform shoes. When he came to Cape High, he was wearing platforms.
I look good. Looking good.
Had a little beatbox of that playing on when he walked in.
All right.
Y'all like slim women around here?
What's this Florida place?
We are back live. Notre Dame. Head football coach Marcus Freeman. He got Duke's quarterbacks. Riley Leonard. He's trying to take Notre Dame to the next level. Good luck with that. Where do they fit in? Well, let me finish this up because I'm going to ask you more about Notre Dame. He is trying to take them to the next level, no doubt about that. Now, they just got another big-time recruit, 5'10", 175 wide receiver from Ohio, Sean Terry. He picked Notre Dame over USC and Missouri. So they got that quarterback stud. They're trying to get these athletes in there that can run. They're independent. A lot easier path to win 12 games when you got, and I'm not cutting down the military schools at all. I love them to death.
Right.
But you got Army, Navy, Air Force, Southern Mississippi,
Southern Cal,
Jinx, Surfside. I mean, they play South Carolina. I mean, USC,
Clemson.
Yeah, and they got Clemson. But what are we going to do with them when we go?
In my opinion, they're going to end up in the Big Ten. That makes more sense than anybody.
Until then, they're going to end up in the playoff every year because they're going to win 10, 11 games.
Right,
they're going to be the darling of the media.
Exactly.
I mean, I think it's completely unfair that they're not in a conference. When you run through the conference of the SEC or Big Ten, you've played some legitimate top 5, top 10 teams.
Right.
They just don't have nobody on the schedule that scares me. USC, I made fun of that because to me, they're like on par with the service academies now as far as defense and the way they play. So that's not even a big game for them. Last year, I think they beat them by, 35 or 40? It was an absolute destruction. So they have to get in a conference. They need to force their hand because why would they? I mean, they're NBC. They make all that contract money themselves.
But with them, they also have the Big Ten.
Right.
So it would be an easy move into that because they got that contract. Now, how would that work? If they do let them in there, how would that contract work out? The Big Ten's not going to let them keep all that NBC,
you would
ABC.
think.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have an equal revenue share. I mean, the reason I think that the Big Ten let Peacock do the streaming was in the future when Notre Dame's contract runs with NBC, they're probably just going to re-sign with the Big Ten and kind of transition because NBC, Peacock, Fox, they all have a contract with the Big Ten, so they're all Big Ten. CBS too. So I think they're naturally going to.
See, I thought we really screwed up.
If they can get Notre Dame, Florida State, I think that would be a home run hire, and I would shut her down. You know, I mean, to me, that would make the Big Ten at 20 teams, 18 teams.
Right.
I think what I've heard is going to be 2 20-team, SEC, Big Ten, both have 20, and it's going to be the top 40 and top 40 greatest hits, and that's going to be it.
Those are really the only teams that actually have enough money to compete for a title. So
yeah,
and some of them won't either. Let's be honest.
What about Clemson? Because from the ACC, as far as football is concerned, they've been the most
consistent
team, probably over the years, more so than Florida State, but. I don't know. What about North Carolina? North Carolina for basketball, yeah, for sure. But football?
Well, I know the SEC wants North Carolina, and so does. I think the Big Ten's going to go after them too because you got a whole new state. I mean, Charlotte in the market. You're talking big money.
The Big Ten wants them for academics for the other sports, basketball.
And they're good in basketball. They're competitive in football in the ACC. They won't be very good in the SEC or the Big Ten.
But you hire the right coach, you start building your program, you see where you need to be, you start playing the Ohio States and putting kids up against that. Kids want to play against those teams. So
I think we'll see everything head in the right direction in 2026.
I'll say 2 years.
Yeah, that's when you're going to see things change. The next first 2 years, you're going to see probably 2 or 3 teams in the Big 12 or maybe the ACC in the playoffs. It's not going to be where everybody thinks it's going to be all Big 10, SEC. They're going to make sure that didn't happen.
Right.
Well, what about I saw this today before I came here, looking at my phone, talking about outrageous picks. USF, not UCF, USF in Tampa. They can make the playoffs next year. It's like USF. Like are you kidding?
No,
I don't see it.
I don't either. How?
I do. If everybody beats everybody up, this team they deserve it. They're 12 and 0 or 11-1. And you got Ohio State with 2 losses.
And they'll get boat raced.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would rather take an 8-4 SEC team over a 12-0 USF. I mean, maybe not 12-0, 11-1. Even the UCF team that everybody wanted to crown national champions, they're a nice team. But if they went through the gauntlet of a Big Ten SEC, they'd have 3 to 4 losses, just like the middle pack of the SEC and Big Ten. But people don't realize these major conferences have studs everywhere. Offensive line, defensive line, they're physical, and you just can't line up with the USC.
Have you looked at Oregon's schedule? Because I'm looking to see how they're going to play week in, week out, playing that schedule, especially on the road. Is theirs pretty marked up pretty hard? I got to look into that.
The only one I know, they get Ohio State at home next year, about game 4 or 5.
But I'm sure they're going to have to come to Michigan or Penn State or somewhere.
Ohio State got really lucky, but I didn't really dive into Oregon or USC's schedule for next year. Ohio State got a gift. I mean, let's be honest.
Their schedule's not that bad.
You got the Georgia schedule.
From last year.
Georgia doesn't have it this year, though.
The only game they really have that was added that's going to be a tough game is at Oregon. But they get Michigan at home. I think they get Penn State at Happy Valley, but I think that's an early game, so it may not be a whiteout, but I can't remember. But they got a really good schedule next year. Ohio State's got everything set up right now for Ryan Day.
What happened? Seriously, what happened? And this really could happen. If Florida loses to UCF, Miami, and Florida State.
He's gone.
Oh, he'd be gone.
He's the 4th.
And they got all 3 this year on the schedule.
Yeah, and early, too, I believe.
Yeah,
at least Miami and UCF.
Yeah.
I think he's gone.
I don't see Billy Napier lasting past this year. I just don't.
Lane Kiffin's coming.
Some people are good coaches, and but going to Florida, University of Florida, is a whole different ball game. I was going to say this. They ran Steve Spurrier out, okay? They did. All right.
They ran Urban Meyer out.
ran Urban Meyer out. I mean,
for other reasons, he probably deserved it. But
Spurrier, if he wasn't national champion every year,
spoiled rotten.
They're spoiled, and they're still like that.
Tuscaloosa.
Go to their games and sit and listen to their fans talk. It's like
Billy Napier didn't forget how to coach, and he was a good coach at Louisiana. The problem is when you have the pressure, the boosters, all the
they're not
extra
even giving
stuff,
NIL money.
It's just so much pressure, and he just did not handle the bright lights that well. In these jobs, you have everybody pulling at you. You have so many responsibilities outside of football. You really have to be focused on what you're doing, and it just seems like he just didn't have it.
That's why it's surprising. You know, we talk about Ryan Day, same thing, and he gave up. He had enough sense to give up the play calling, but Napier's not. That really surprised me.
And one thing he did
Billy,
do,
I think that's a mistake.
And I think he lost the fans on this. Everybody wanted him to hire an offensive coordinator. He had 2 offensive line coaches, and the offensive line was terrible.
Right.
And what did he do? He kept the offensive line coaches and basically said, forget you, I'm doing it my way, which I respect.
Yeah.
But I just don't see that succeeding this year, unfortunately. For
With
him.
transfers and the way the NIL is going right now, you can build back a program real quick, but you can also have one destroyed really quick, too.
His one saving factor is that Lagway stuck with that class, and if he comes in and tears it up, he may survive.
Florida, too, just got another commitment. They got an offensive lineman from the great state of Georgia.
What do you think a acceptable record would be for him to keep his job next year?
Peyton Joseph just committed to Florida. He's from Georgia, an offensive lineman. That's a big pickup for him. You were talking about Florida. That's an elite job. They're not going to be satisfied with 7 wins.
That's what
Somebody said that if he gets 7, he'll be. No, I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't either.
I think he's got to win 8 at least, and even 8. How can you win 8 with that schedule?
And again,
you got to win the first 5 to get to 8.
And again, it also depends who did you lose to and how bad did you lose. I mean, okay, let's say you lose to Florida or to Georgia rather, but it was a 1 point loss or something. You know, that's different. But did you get killed? That makes all the difference.
Their schedule is the toughest in the country.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I don't know. And who knows? You know what though? Who knows what's going to happen?
That's why you play the games.
Yeah. Who knows? After spring football, everybody might transfer to Florida.
Right.
And for everybody, their team. It's crazy. It's like you said. We have all this stuff to talk about, and it gives you something to talk about, but it doesn't mean anything because we don't know who's going to be on the roster.
Yeah.
I never in my life thought. You go through spring football, you know what you got.
Right.
And it's not anymore.
No, you got the spring portal now.
All right, we got 30 seconds. Max Fit.
Yeah, come see us on 23rd Street in the Del Coronado Village next to the Zeki's. That number is 850-257-5780. And we're in Pier Park North next to Dick's Sporting Goods. That's 850-708-3051. We got meal plans, a free sample bar for our products, and local military first responder discounts daily.
All right, we hope you have a great day. Ryan Moby's got a great show coming up from 11 to 1. David's got the Underdogs rolling in the afternoon. Then we got Fine Ball. But we got Wildcats, so we're not worried about anything. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Your home for college basketball. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This Saturday, it's a college basketball doubleheader as the Washington Huskies travel to the McHale Memorial Center in Tucson to take on the Wildcats of Arizona. Coverage starts at 12:30. Then, your number 14th ranked Auburn Tigers are in Athens to battle the Georgia Bulldogs. Coverage starts at 4:30. Tip-off at 5 on your home for college basketball.